Hello students, welcome to the class. So before going to start the class, can you tell me whether I'm audible and screen is visible? Janvi Chitradurga. Can anyone tell me? Fine. So if you have any problem, kindly tell me if I am not audible and screen is visible. Okay, fine. So let us start the class. Okay, fine. Okay, so you know that in the last class we have started the human health and diseases, right? So we have talked about what is the health is correctly and what is the disease we call it as. Okay, fine. So next, the question is here for you. Okay, the question is which one of the following pair of disease I have given here disease names, okay, which is the infection, which is consisting of both infectious and the non-infectious. Okay, so can you tell me 1 minute? Okay, so fine. So can you answer to this question, student JNV Chitradurga? From the JNV Chitradurga students, can anyone answer me? So which is the correct answer? Infectious and non-infectious. Okay, so just tell me. I need answer from you, JNV. Yes. So the correct answer is, I got answer. No, I didn't got answer. I'm waiting for your answer. Okay. So option B, so that is AIDS and cancer is the answer. Okay. AIDS is the infectious disease and cancer is the non-infectious disease. Okay. So here you can see both of them, it is consisting of the infectious disease only, right? So that's why. So in the option B, it is consisting of only the infectious and non-infectious disease. Fine. So in the last class, we are talking about how the disease is going to be caused through, right? One is the exotoxin and another one is the endotoxin, right? So what do you mean by exotoxin? Can anyone tell me what do you mean by exotoxin? See here, the bacteria, when it is entered into our body or it is entered into our blood, okay, it start producing the chemicals. Okay, it start producing the chemicals. That chemicals, we will call it as the exotoxin, right? This bacterial from the outside of the bacterial body, it is secreting the toxin. So that we will call it the exotoxin. What do you mean by endotoxin? So, you know, student, what is the envelope of the bacteria is made up of? Envelope of the bacteria is made up of, you know, it is made up of cell wall and a glycocalyx layer, and it is made up of the plasma membranes, right? Yes. So that is what we will call it as the cell envelope, right? So other than that, the gram-negative bacteria, you know, the gram-negative bacteria is also having the another coat. Can anyone tell me which is that coat? Polysaccharide coat, right? Polysaccharide coat. That polysaccharide we'll call it as glycopolysaccharide coat, right? So that glycopolysaccharide coat, it is going to present only in the gram-negative bacteria, right? 1 minute. Gram-negative bacteria. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. So it is going to be produced only by the gram-negative bacteria. Gram-negative bacteria. Why it is going to be produced only from the gram-negative bacteria? Only the gram-negative bacteria is having the polysaccharide coat, right? Not the gram-positive bacteria. Gram-positive bacteria is having the thick peptidoglycan layer. Gram-negative is having the thin peptidoglycan layer, and other than that, it is having the polysaccharide coat also, right? So that's why whenever this bacteria went inside the body, it will burst. Okay, it will burst. Thereby, it is releasing the polysaccharide coat. Then it is acting as an endotoxin. Okay. So this exotoxin is produced by both the bacteria. Okay. So that is gram positive bacteria and gram negative bacteria. Negative bacteria, but endotoxin is going to produce only from the gram negative bacteria. Okay, not from the gram positive bacteria. So just it went inside the blood and it is burst out. This this glycopolysaccharide is going to act as an endotoxin. That's it. Fine. Let us talk about the bacterial diseases. 1 minute. Okay. So student, can you think which are the bacterial diseases you know? Can you tell me which are the bacterial diseases you know? So many of them will get confusion by the bacterial diseases, viral diseases, right? So can anyone tell me which are the bacterial diseases you know? Other than typhoid and the pneumonia that is given in the textbook only, right? Other than that. Okay. See here, these are the bacterial diseases, okay? So here I have given the mnemonic for you, Takla Papad Dawat T. Easy, right? Easy to remember. Yes. So which is this thing? Okay, let us study about, okay? T means typhoid, okay? Typhoid. And A means anthrax, typhoid, anthrax, cholera, leprosy, pneumonia, plague, dysentery, diphtheria, whooping cough, tetanus, tuberculosis, okay? Student, in the exam, the questions will be asked like this, okay? So they may give you the bacterial diseases and in between that, they'll give you some viral diseases, okay? They will tell you to identify which is the viral disease or they may tell you to recognize which are the bacterial diseases. For that reason, other than the typhoid and the pneumonia, you have to remember the other bacterial disease also, okay? Yes. Can anyone tell me which is the causative agent of the typhoid? Salmonella typhi, right? Salmonella typhi, right? Can you tell me for the cholera, student, cholera? It is easy, right? Cholera. Vibrio cholerae. Okay. So can anyone tell me for the tetanus? Clostridium tetani. In the last class also we have studied about that, right? Clostridium tetani. Clostridium tetani. Okay. Fine. These are about the bacterial diseases. Let us study about some bacterial diseases. Okay. So typhoid. Okay. So how the typhoid is going to cause? Which is the causative agent for the typhoid? So student, in the common diseases, we are talking about the which are the causative agent? Okay. So which are the bacterial diseases? In that we are common diseases we are talking about, which is the causative agent, which are the symptoms, and which is the diagnostic process. Okay. So here you have to remember this all the three. That is enough. Okay. So let us talk about typhoid. So typhoid, which is the causative agent for the typhoid? Can anyone tell me? Here only we are given, right? Yes. Salmonella typhi. Okay. How it is going to be caused? It is going to be caused through the fecal and oral route. Okay, student, it is also very, very important because in the exam, they may ask you like this. So typhoid is going to cause through. It is by the droplet infection or through the fecal oral matter like that. Okay. So that's why you have to remember that it is going to be caused through the fecal oral matter, typhoid fever. Okay. Fine. Let us come to the symptoms. So what are the symptoms? Constipation, right? So then abdominal pain, then sustained fever for 39 to 40 degrees Celsius is the main characteristic. Okay, this is a very important 39 to 40 degrees Celsius and intestinal perforation and loss of appetite. Okay, the person who is having the typhoid is having the loss of appetite. He will not feel hungry for eating the food. Okay, that is what we will call it as a loss of appetite. Okay, and the intestinal perforation and loose motion. So these are all the things. Okay, so this is coming to the typhoid disease. So then how we are going to identify the person is having the typhoid? So that is through the Widal test. Okay, the diagnosis test for the typhoid is Widal test. Okay, this is also very, very important. And this causative agent is also very, very important. So then coming to the pneumonia. So what are the things come to your mind when we're talking about the pneumonia? So lung disease, right? Yes, it is a lung disease. What it is going to be happen? In the lungs, there are the alveoli is there. In the alveolar, there is a mucus and some liquid substances is going to be accumulate. Mucus is going to be accumulate in the alveolar region of the lungs, right? See here, these are the, here we are having the alveolar, right? Alveolar is the main main thing for the exchange of the gases, right? So in the alveolar region, what will happen? So in the alveolar, the mucus is going to be accumulated, thereby the exchange of the gases is going to be decreases, right? So that is the main reason for this, okay? So how it is going to be caused, which is the causative agent? Streptococcus pneumoniae, okay? Streptococcus pneumoniae. So the droplet infection, for example, mainly the droplet infection is spit, okay? Sputum. Through the sputum, it is going to be transferred. For example, if any person is having the pneumonia, if he spit anywhere, okay, if he spit in the road or in somewhere, okay, through that, the pneumonia is going to be transmitted. Okay, that is the sputum of the patient. The sputum of the patient is consisting of the Streptococcus pneumoniae bacteria. Through that sputum, it is going to be cause the disease. Okay, so that's why they are given the droplet infection. Remember, the pneumonia is the droplet infection. So the person who is having the, which are the symptoms is going to show in the night time is going to show the chills. Okay, chills. You feel cold. Okay, chills. And coming to the sharp chest pain, right? So because the why the sharp chest pain is going to become, the oxygen exchange is going to be decreases, right? So that's why he's going to get the chest pain and shortness of the breathing, right? And fever and bluish gray lip color of the lip and the nail color. Okay. So the patient lips and the nails is going to be turned into the blue color. Why the reason it is turning into the blue color? The main reason is the oxygen and the carbon dioxide exchange is not going to be happen, right? In the body, the carbon dioxide accumulation is going to be increased, where oxygen supply is going to be decreased, right? So, which is the main test we are going to do for the pneumonia? The main test is X-ray. Okay, chest X-ray they are going to do. You know, student, in the chest X-ray they will give you some this thing, right? So, what is the rank? This like they will give you that, right? Chest X-ray they are going to do. Then score. You know, in the chest X-ray they will give the scores, right? Scores, right? Yes, in the chest X-ray, they will give the score. Based on the score, the doctor will tell you whether the chest or whether the lungs was, how much the lungs was damaged. Okay. Yes. So this is about the pneumonia. Do you have any questions in the pneumonia? Pneumonia is caused by the Streptococcus pneumoniae and it is through the droplet infection and it is going to cause the grayish and the lip and grayish color of the lip and the nail color. Sorry, nails. Okay. So then chills, sharp chest pain and shortness of the breathing, fever, these all are the symptoms of the pneumonia. Okay. So then coming to the viral diseases, which are the diseases we learned now in the bacteria? One is the typhoid. Typhoid is related to the fever and another one pneumonia is related to the lung disease. Okay. Fine. So then coming to the viral diseases, which are the viral diseases? You know. Can you think? Just remember which are the viral diseases you know, students? Smallpox and chickenpox and coming to the common cold, measles, mumps, hepatitis and polio, rabies, dengue, chikungunya and AIDS. Okay. So these all are the viral diseases. Okay. So then in the viral diseases, they are given the only one disease. So that is the common cold. Okay. So we all know, we all experience about the common cold, right? But we don't know which is the causative agent. So let us talk about the causative agent. Okay. Causative agent is a rhinovirus. Okay. Causative agent is a rhinovirus. Very, very important. So we know that it is going to be caused through the droplet infection, right? If any person is having the cold by sitting with that person or by, if the person is away also, means in a classroom or is sitting beside us means yeah, by this through the coughing or by the sneezing, it is going to be spread, right? Yes. So for example, if my friend is having the cold today, after that 2 days, I'm with my friend only, right? After the 2 days, I'm also getting the disease, right? I'm also getting the common cold, right? So that is how it is going to be spread through the droplet infection. Okay. So which are the symptoms, student? We all know the symptoms, right? Yes. So runny nose, and a red eye and fever, headache, cough, and the sore throat. So these all are the symptoms of the common cold. So then how we have to recover from this cold? So there are so many measures, right? So many remedies is there, right? So we can drink the cinnamon tea. Okay, cinnamon tea we can drink and we can eat the vitamin C fruits, right? Vitamin C rich fruits, for example, like orange, and yeah, orange, and we can take the vitamin C rich fruits. We can take this thing, right? Okay. And kiwi fruit, right? Kiwi fruit is also rich in the vitamin C, right? And lemon water also you can drink. That is also rich in the vitamin C, right? Okay. Then garlic, and you can take the humidifier, and you can see this saline nasal irrigation and inhalation or the steam, right? Whenever we are having the cold, what we will do? We will take the steam, right? Steam. So that is one thing. And fluid intake, we have to, during the cold, we have to take the more fluid, right? Yes. And chicken soup is also good remedy for the common cold. Okay, fine. Fine. Let us come to the malaria. Okay. So this is a protozoan disease. Protozoan disease. Protozoan diseases. Okay. In the protozoan diseases, we are going to learn about the one is malaria and another one is amoebiosis. Okay. So other than that, I have told you that American sleeping sickness and the African sleeping sickness, that is going to be transmitted, right? That is going to be transmitted through the T-safe light, right? So those also by the protozoan disease only, that is by the trypanosoma, okay? Trypanosoma gambici or Trypanosoma cruzi, we will tell that. So that is through that protozoan disease, okay? Then coming to the malaria, so before everyone thought that malaria is going to be caused through the foul smelling air. Okay, we will get the bad hairs, right? Bad smelling air, right? So people thought that from the bad smelling air, we are getting the malaria. Okay, but that is not true. Okay, so was proved by one scientist. So that scientist name is Leveran. Okay, the scientist name is Leveran. Leveran proved that it is not going to be transmitted through the foul smelling air. It is going to be transmitted through the protozoan. Okay, protozoan. Okay, the another scientist called as Ronald Ross. Okay, Ronald Ross. He told that it is going to be transmitted through female Anopheles mosquito. It is going to be transmitted through female Anopheles mosquito. So why, student, only female mosquito is going to cause the disease? Why not the male mosquito? Can anyone tell me? Yes, because the male during the reproduction, the male female mosquito requires some albumin proteins. Okay, so that is the reason it will feeds on the blood. In the blood, we are having the albumin proteins, right? So that is the reason it will feed on the blood. Okay, fine. Not the male. Okay, not the male mosquito, only the female mosquito. Then coming to the, it is caused by Plasmodium. So that is protozoa. Malaria is the protozoan disease. So here it is going to be caused through three main species. Okay, one we will call it as a Plasmodium falciparum, another is a Plasmodium malaria, and Plasmodium vivax. So student, in the India also we have got the malaria, but it is caused through two things. One is the Plasmodium falciparum and another one is the Plasmodium vivax. Okay. So when it comes to the three species, here the Plasmodium falciparum is most dreadful disease. Okay. It is the most malignant. Okay. We'll call it as malignant. Okay. Malignant. Okay. So it is very dangerous. Okay. Plasmodium falciparum. Then coming to the malaria. So malaria is the only species which has caused the disease to all the primates. Okay, all the primates. Okay, so then coming to the Plasmodium vivax, this is the benign. Okay, it is not that much dangerous. Okay, compared to the falciparum, the Plasmodium vivax is not that much dreadful. Okay, fine. So what are the things we have learned today? We have learned about the bacterial diseases and the viral diseases. In the bacterial diseases, we learned about the pneumonia and the typhoid, right? Okay. Then coming to the viral disease, we have learned about the common cold. Then coming to the protozoan disease, we are talking about the malaria. It is going to cause through the protozoan, that is the Plasmodium vivax or the Plasmodium falciparum or the Plasmodium malariae. Okay, fine. So let us talk about what is the life cycle of this Plasmodium vivax. Okay, fine. Let us go through that. Can anyone tell me whether I'm audible and screen is visible? Can anyone tell me whether I'm audible and screen is visible? I'm audible, right? Yes. Okay, Chidurga. Thank you so much. Okay. So let us talk about how it is going to be transmitted. Okay. So student, just think now, one mosquito is there in that female Anopheles mosquito. It is already, so student, here you have to remember the life cycle of the Plasmodium vivax is digenetic. Okay. Digenetic. What do you mean by digenetic? So digenetic means to complete this life cycle, it requires two hosts. Okay. So it requires two hosts for its complete life cycle. Okay. So see here, one host, we know that, right? One host is the mosquito. One host is the mosquito. It is not at all going to affect the mosquito. Okay. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. So it is not at all going to affect the mosquito. Okay. But the another host is the humans, right? For humans, it is going to be cause the damage, right? So that's why we'll call it the biological host. The biological host of the malaria parasite is humans. Okay. So fine. So how it is the life cycle is going to be occur? Just remember, just imagine how what I am telling. Okay. See here. Now one mosquito, it is already having the malaria parasite. Okay. It is having the malaria parasite in its saliva. Okay. That mosquito. Okay. So see here, that mosquito is having the malaria parasite, right? So that mosquito, that parasite, we'll call it as the sporozoite. Okay. Sporozoite. Okay. For example, if you think you are sitting, mosquito was came and it is bite, right? So along with its saliva, while it is injecting the blood, while it is sucking the blood, it with its saliva, it is injected is sporocyte into the blood. Okay. Sporocyte into the blood. Okay. What will happen? So sporocyte is the infective stage. Okay. Which is the infective stage means the sporocyte is the infective stage of malarial parasite. Sorry, that is the Plasmodium vivax. 1 minute. So infective stage of Plasmodium vivax. Okay, see here what will happen now. So it was released this sporocyte inside the blood, right? Inside the blood, it will go, and through the blood, it is reaching the liver. Okay, through the blood, the sporocyte was reaching the liver. What will happen in the liver? This sporocyte was started replication. Okay, started replication, that we will call it as the asexual reproduction. Okay, asexual reproduction was started in the liver cells. Okay, you can take this as a liver cell. It is started reproducing, multiplying more in the number in the liver cells. Okay, so see here they are given the malarial parasite, that is the sporozoid that was entered into the liver cell, and it is multiplying in the more number. Then after the multiplying in the number, it will damage the liver cell and it will come out from the liver cell. See here, it was increases in the liver cell and it was burst the liver cell and come out from the liver cell. Okay. So see here, from the liver cell, it was enter into the blood. Okay, student, from the liver cell now, it was bursted from the liver cell, right? So that stage, we will call it as the merozoites. Merozoites. The parasite which will infective, which will come inside the liver, that will call the sporocyte. From the blood to the liver, it was entered, right? In the liver, it is going to be multiply and it is going to be burst and come out, right? That we will call it as a merozoite. Okay. So now what will happen? These merozoites will enter into the RBC. Okay, red blood. 1 minute, not to the red blood. So easily we can call it as blood. Okay. Now this merozoite, after rupturing the liver cell, it was entered into the blood, right? What will happen in the blood? See here. So here the main process will happen. In the blood, this parasite, see here, in the blood it was entered. 1 minute. Yes. See here. Now this was enter into the blood, right? In the blood, there is a RBC is there, right? RBC. So it will enter into the RBC. Okay, it will enter into the RBC. In the RBC, there is a hemoglobin is there, right? Hemoglobin is there, right? So it will break down the hemoglobin into the heme and heme and the globin. Okay. So now what will happen? These merozoites will feed on this hemoglobin. Okay. These merozoites will feed on the hemoglobin. This state, the merozoites which feed on the hemoglobin part, we'll call it as the trophozoites. Trophozoites. Okay, trophozoites. So then this heme part was removed, right? This heme part was removed, right? So this heme part now converted into the hemozoin. Okay. So when it was, the red blood cell is also increased. In the red blood cell, it is multiplying. It is it is breaking the hemoglobin into the heme and the globin, then feeding on the globin, and it is removing the heme, right? So this heme was converted into the hemozoin when this RBC is also ruptured. Okay, this RBC is also going to be ruptured. Then it is going to be released the hemozoin into the blood. Okay, see here now, hemozoin was released into the blood, right? So now it is causing the fever. Okay, due to the hemozoin, you are going to get the fever. Okay, so it is sending the message to the brain. Through that, the person is going to get the fever. Okay, so that is the reason, student, whenever the person is having the malarial disease, he is not getting the fever continuously. Okay, so one day he get the fever today means he will get the tomorrow. No, not after the day after tomorrow. Okay, so like that, because whenever the RBC was ruptured, it is going to release the hemozoin, thereby is getting the fever. Okay, so that is the main reason. Okay, so then what will happen? So now see here, in the RBC, there are merozoites are there, right? Some of them which are feeding on the red blood cell. Don't confuse here, okay? Whenever it is in the blood, we will call it as the merozoites, okay? Whenever it is feeding on the hemoglobin, we will call it as the trophozoites, okay? So see here, now in the blood, merozoites are there, right? Some of the merozoites is converted into the male and female gamete, okay? Some of the merozoites, okay? Now what will happen? So see here, the male and female gametes are there, right? So now what will happen? This male and female gamete will move to the superficial skin of the superficial blood vessels on the skin. Okay, superficial blood vessels on the skin. So now what will happen? Whenever the mosquito will bite that person, okay, malarial infected person is going to be, that mosquito is going to take that blood along with this female and the male gametes. Okay, so see here now. So the person is having the malarial parasite now. So see here, what will happen in the liver? It was going to be increases by the asexual method. Then that liver cell is going to be burst, and it was releases the merozoite. Then merozoite was entered into the blood. Then merozoites now feeding on the RBC. The hemoglobin is break out into the heme and the globin. Now globin it feed, right? The heme was free, then heme was converted into the hemozoid, then it is causing the fever, right? So then in the blood only, some of the merozoites, which is converted into the male and female gamete, now it will move through the superficial vessels of the blood on the skin. Okay. So now what happened? The another mosquito will come, and if we suck the blood name along with that blood, the merozoid, this male and female gametes is going to be taken by the mosquito. Now what will happen? The second life cycle was started in the life cycle was continued in the mosquito, not second, continued in the mosquito. What will happen now? See here. This both the spores is going to be go to the see here. The female mosquito takes up the gametes with the blood meal. Okay. The fertilization and development takes place in the mosquito's intestine. Okay. The fertilization and the development is going to be taken place in the mosquito stomach or in the intestine. Okay. See here, now what will happen? So this mature infective stage escape from the intestine and migrate to the salivary gland. So what will happen in the cyst? Okay, it will form some cyst. Okay, this type of the cyst. In the cyst, it is going to have this. Okay, it is going to have this sporozoites. Okay, it is going to have the sporozoites. In the stomach, what will happen? The sporozoites is going to be burst. Okay, sporozoites is going to be burst. Sorry, this cyst is there, right? This cyst is going to be burst, and this sporozoites is going to be released into the cavity, body cavity. Okay, it is going to be released into the body cavity. So from the body cavity, this removed sporozoites will enter into the saliva of the mosquito. Then again, this from the saliva of the mosquito, whenever this mosquito is carrying this sporozoites in the saliva, when it bites the another person, it is going to be transferred to the another person, and it is going to through the blood to the liver, and the life cycle was continued. Okay, students? Do you have any questions here? Do you have any question? Do you understood? Can anyone tell me? Do you understood or not? Answer me in the chat box. Do you understood or not? Jainvi Chitradurga. Can anyone tell me whether you understood or not? Jainvi Chitradurga, do you have any questions here? Yes, very good. Fine. See here what happened here. So first what happened? The infective stage is the sporozoid, right? The sporozoid is the infective stage. Then it is from the saliva, right? From the saliva it was entered to the blood, right? So then it was entering into the liver. In the liver it is going to be multiplied, right? How it is going to be multiplied, student? To the asexual process, okay? This asexual process, we also call it as the schizogamy. Schizogamy. Okay, students, schizogamy. So later what will happen? In the liver cell, it will, 1 minute. So liver cell is going to be burst. Liver cell is going to be burst. Is liver cell is going to be burst, and it is going to be released into blood, right? Release into the blood. So see here, in the blood, it is going to be act on hemoglobin. Here, which stage it will enter into the blood? That is called as the merozoites, right? Which is feeding on the hemoglobin, we will call it as the trophozoites. Trophozoites, right? It will break the hemoglobin into the globin and heme, right? Heme. This heme is going to be converted into the hemozoin, which is going to cause the fever, right? So on the globin, it is going to be feed, right? So then in this thing only, so some of them is going to be converted into the gametes, right? One is the female and another one is the male. So this gametes is taken by the mosquito. Then in the mosquito, the fertilization is going to be happen. Fertilization and development, right? Fertilization and the development. Then cyst is going to be burst. Cyst is going to be burst. Then it is going to be release sporozoites, right? Then the same thing will happen. It comes to the saliva, then it is going to be continue the life cycle like this. Okay, so then coming to the next disease, so that is the amoebiasis. So student, what we will do sometimes, we will prepare some dishes and will not close the lid, right? Will not close by any plates or any lid, right? So we will take the fruits and vegetables from the market and we will not wash that thing, right? Before washing only we will eat that, right? What will happen now? So these type of the disease is going to be caused amoebiasis, okay? See here, the amoebiasis is going to be caused by the Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, the amoebiasis is going to be caused by the Entamoeba histolytica. Why it is called as the Entamoeba histolytica means Entamoeba will belong to the protozoa, right? Protozoa. Usually it is sporozoans. Okay, sporozoans. See here, Entamoeba histolytica. So what it is going to be? It is going to be damage the tissue. It is going to be damage tissue that is a large intestine. Okay. So that's why we are going to call it as amoebiasis or sorry, entamoeba histolytica. Okay. Fine. So what is the vector? Here the vector is housefly. That is only I told. So for example, if any person is having the amoebiasis disease, okay. 2 is fecal, okay. 2 is the fecal, it is going to be entered. See here, the amoebiasis is going to be transferred through the fecal oral route, okay. Fecal oral route. So if the person is having the amoebiasis from his fecus, okay. His fecus, through his fecus, any fly was bite on the fecus, okay. The fly was bited on the fecus, then it was bite on the fruits or any vegetables, okay. Then this fly is carrying that sporozoids and spores, and it is going to be released onto the vegetables or any fruits, okay. So what we will do, we will simply will not wash the fruits or vegetables, we will eat that, okay. On that case, it is going to be called the amoebiasis disease, okay. Amoebiasis disease. What are the things happening here? We will see. Okay, so see here what the thing you have to remember here. First one is it is going to be caused by the entamoeba histolytica, and the causative, it is going to be transmitted from the housefly. Causative agent is entamoeba histolytica, and through the fecal oral route. Okay, student. Fine. So let us come to the what is the life cycle of the entamoeba histolytica. So see here from the fecus. Okay, the fecus. From the fecus, there is a in the fecus, the person who is having the amoebiasis, in the fecus, it is having the entamoeba histolytica. Okay. The fly is going to be, from the fly, it is going to be transmitted to the any food. Okay. So now what will happen? The food was entered into our mouth, right? Mouth. Through the mouth, it was transferred to the stomach, right? Stomach. So in the stomach, we have the acidic pH, right? In the acidic pH, this fly is, see here, it is having the cyst like, okay. This entamoeba histolytica is present in the cyst. Okay, this cyst, in the cyst, there are so many entamoeba histolytica are there. Okay, but in the cyst, what will happen? The cyst wall is very protective, and it is not going to be damaged by the acidic pH of the stomach. Okay, acidic pH of stomach. Okay, so next what will happen? It will enter into the intestine, right? In the small intestine. Okay, in the small intestine, there will be an enzyme called as the trypsin. Okay, what is the trypsin, student? It will break the proteins, right? Yes. From the trypsin, the cyst wall is going to be broke. Okay, cyst wall is going to be broken down. Okay, so then what will happen? From the cyst, when the cyst wall was broken in the small intestine, it is going to release entamoeba histolytica. Okay, so then what it will do? It will break tissues of the intestine. Okay, it will break tissues of intestine. It will bore the tissues of the intestine. Okay, it will damage the tissues of the intestine. Okay, so thereby it is going to cause the disease. Okay, so what I've told you. So in the fecus, there will be a cyst, and through the fly, it is going to be transmitted to the food, and through the food, it is entering to the stomach. It is very stable. It is not going to be broken by the acidic pH of the stomach, and then it is enters into the intestine. In the intestine, it is having the trypsin enzyme. So the trypsin enzyme is going to break the wall of the cyst, and it is releasing the entamoeba histolytica. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I will change the color. Okay, fine. Fine. So, okay, student, what I have told you, I will tell you. Okay. So, see here, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. So, see here what happened. The person, he is having the amoebiasis. Okay. Through his fecus, the cyst was released. Okay. The cyst is having the this entamoeba histolytica. Okay. Then it is going to be taken by the fly. Fly was sat on the feces, then along with that it is carries the this cyst. Okay, then this fly is going to be sit on the any food. Okay, then when it was sit on the food without washing that, if we ate any food, means what will happen? It is going to through the stomach. Okay, it is going through the stomach, and in the stomach it is not going to be, the cyst wall is very stable and it is not going to be break by the acidic pH of the stomach. Okay, so then later it will move to the intestine. In the intestine, what happened? There is a trypsin enzyme is there. Okay, trypsin enzyme. Through this trypsin enzyme, what will happen? So this cyst wall is going to be broken down and it will release the Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, then Entamoeba histolytica, now it feeds on the tissues in the large intestine and the small intestine. Okay, thereby it is going to damage the intestine, then it is going to be cause the severe disease. Okay, fine. So this is about the life cycle of the Entamoeba histolytica. Do you have any questions here? Do you have any questions here? Symptoms. So then come to the symptoms. Which are the symptoms it is going to be cause? Symptoms. Amoebic dysentery. The person along with the stool, he will release the blood. Okay. Stools with blood. Stools with blood. That is what we will call it as amoebic dysentery. Okay. Stools with the blood and is having the stomach pain. Okay, student. So stomach pain and stools with the blood. So these all are the called as the amoebic dysentery. Okay. So these are the main symptoms of the amoebiosis. Okay. So how can we prevent? How can we prevent? By giving the medicines. Okay. So medicines we will give is, one is the metronidazole, and another one is tinidazole. Another one is tinidazole. Okay. One is the metronidazole. This is metronidazole, and another one is the tinidazole. Tinidazole, the patient is treated with this type of the drugs. Okay. So here you have to remember how is the life cycle and what is the causative agent and what is the main symptoms. Okay, amoebic dysentery or stools with the blood. Medicine is metronidazole and the tinidazole. That is not important, but simply I am telling this. Okay. Okay. So then coming to the helminthic disease. Okay. So these helminthic diseases are, so mainly two diseases we are going to learn. One is the flatworm disease and another one is the roundworm disease. Okay. First one we are going to learn is the ascariasis. Okay. Second one is filariasis. Here in the diagram you are seeing, right? Elephantiasis. We will call it as the elephantiasis or the elephant, right? The person's leg, it looks like the elephant leg, right? So that's why we will call it as elephantiasis. Okay. Fine. Let us study about this. So students, sometimes what happens? Some kids will playing in the mud or playing in the soil, they will eat the soil, right? Along with the soil, the spores or the zygotes of this ascariasis is going to be taken. Okay, the child along with the soil, they will take the zygotes of this ascariasis. Zygote. Okay, zygote, not alone, not whole. Ascariasis. Okay, zygote. It is going to be causative agent of the ascariasis is the Ascaris lumbricoides. Okay, Ascaris lumbricoides. See here, it is looking like a noodles, right? Noodles, right? See here. So what will happen? So it is also going to be passed through the fecal oral route. Okay, fecal oral route, it is going to be transmitted. So for example, when it is entered into the mouth, okay, entered into the mouth, and then it will enter into the stomach, then it will enter into the intestine. See here. Then again, from the intestine, it is going to the lungs. Okay, when it is reaches the intestine, it is going to be through the lungs. Okay, lungs. Then it is going to through the heart. Okay, then from the heart to again it is going to be lungs. Okay, then it is going to through the trachea. Okay, so in this all the organs, it is going to be multiply, or it is going to changes its development. Okay, the life stage. Okay, stages is going to be differ in the intestine and in the lungs and in the heart and in the again in the trachea. Okay, so it is going to change its life cycle or in the stages. Then when it was enter into the trachea, then again it will enter into the intestine. Okay, for example, if you take the stage 1, yeah, stage 2, stage 3, 4, 5, right? So from the zygote to the till the 6th or 7th stage, it is going to be passed through the all the organs and it is going to be completely developed. Okay, completely developed, and again it was entering into the intestine. Okay, when it was completely developed, then it is entering into the intestine. Okay, in the intestine it is going to be leave. Okay, student, remember here, in the intestine it is going to be leave. Okay, so then we'll call it as monogenetic life cycle. Okay, when we are talking about the amoebiosis, there also entamoeba histolytica is a monogenetic and it is having only one life cycle. And here is also Ascaris lumbricoides is also having a monogenetic. Okay, see here, what are the symptoms it is going to be show? Abdominal pain. So see student, some persons are very thin, right? Some persons are very thin. If they eat more also, then they are the thin only. So sometimes what happens, this type of this Ascaris lumbricoides is going to be leave in the intestine. So it is going to be absorb whatever the nutrition is taken. Okay, see here, I am taking the so many food and I'm eating very well. Then also I'm not becoming, I'm not becoming fat, because the reason is this Ascaris lumbricoides is living in the intestine. Whatever I'm eating, it is taking, absorbing the nutrition from mine. Okay, so that's why I'm not becoming the fat. Okay, so that is the reason. Okay, so what are the things? It is taking the nutrition from that person. That person is lacking the nutrition, right? Yes. So it is going to cause the abdominal cramps and abdominal pain and weight loss. Obviously, he is eating, but it was taken by the this Ascaris lumbricoides. Then malnutrition, again same, and the vomiting. Okay, sometimes what will happen from through the vomit and through the nose also, this Ascaris lumbricoids zygote is going to be removed. Okay, yes. So the thing is, what are the things we have learned about the Ascaris? So Ascaris lumbricoids is going to be caused through the, Ascarisis is going to be caused through the Ascaris lumbricoids. Ascaris lumbricoids, we also call it as a roundworms. Okay, round worms. Okay, student. Then how it is going to be transmitted? It is going to be transmitted through the fecal oral route. What are the symptoms? Abdominal pain, weight loss, nutrition, and malnutrition, and the vomiting. And the life cycle is monogenetic life cycle. Okay. So do you understood this? Do you have any questions here? Do you have any questions here, student? Do you know they will give that which are the tablets which are going to give for this type of the disease? Ascaris lumbricoids. Albendazole. You know that albendazole? Albendazole, and mebendazole treatment. Okay. For the treatment, 1 minute. Yes. For the treatment, they will give the albendazole and the mebendazole. Okay, mebendazole. So these are used for the treatment. Okay, for example, if the person is suffering from the ascariasis, they will give for the continuously for the 1 week or for weekly once, they will give these tablets. Okay, fine. Let us come to the filariasis. Filariasis or the elephantiasis. Okay, so this will be causing for both the females and the male. Okay, so not only for the lower part, it is going to be affect to the upper parts also. Okay, upper parts also it is going to be affected. We will call it as filariasis or the elephantiasis. Why the elephantiasis? I have told you that the person's leg is going to be looks like the elephant like, right? Fine. So which is the causative agent? Wucheria bancrofti. Okay, Wucheria bancrofti is the causative agent. It is going to be caused by the mosquito bite, either any mosquito, okay, female Anopheles mosquito or the Aedes aegyptis mosquito. Okay, it is by the female Anopheles mosquito, Anopheles or Aedes aegyptis mosquito. Okay, so filariasis is mainly caused by the mosquito. Okay, so then it is having the digenetic life cycle. Okay, it is having the digenetic life cycle. Remember here, filariasis is having the digenetic So one is the human and another one is the female Culex mosquito. Okay. I have told you that it may be caused by all the types of the mosquito, not only the female Culex mosquito. Okay. Female Anopheles mosquito, Aedes aegypti mosquito, and also the female Culex mosquito. Okay. So in the female Culex mosquito, it is having the digenetic life cycle. Okay. So then coming to the general symptoms, here you have to remember here, this filariasis or the elephantiasis, in this, the Wuchereria branchiofti is going to be live in the lymphatic vessel. In the lymphatic vessel, what happened? Not only the legs, okay, not only the legs. In the boys, the scrotum is also going to be enlarged, okay. In the scrotum, in the lymphatic vessel, this Wuchereria branchiofti is going to be live, okay. So scrotum of the male, scrotum of males, and also the legs. Okay, fine. So see here, which are the symptoms? So generally asymptomatic. Whenever it is going to be caused in the starting, that will be the asymptomatic, and later it will show the swelling of the skin and the scrotum. Okay, and the nausea and vomiting, and also the fever. So the mainly the symptom is, you can see the swelling of the skin and the scrotum. So nearly in the lymphatic vessel, it is going to be leave. So there it is going to be cause the enlargement. Okay. So we have seen that, right? See here. So this is how it is going to be cause the enlargement, not only the leg, in the scrotum also. Okay. And in the upper position also, in the upper position of the females also, it is going to be cause this elephantiasis. Okay, student? Fine. So do you understood this means our next disease is roundworm disease. Roundworm, that is a fungal disease. Okay. Fungal disease. Fungal disease. In the fungal disease, they are given the roundworm disease. Sorry, ringworm. 1 minute. Ringworm disease. Ringworm disease. Okay. So student, other than this ringworm disease, how many diseases you know? Can anyone tell me? Other than this ringworm disease, do you know any other diseases? You know athlete foot. Do you know athlete foot, student? Athlete foot is going to be caused by and yeast infection. You know, in the females, you will get the yeast infection, right? Yeast infection is also through the fungal infection, right? Fungal disease. That is also the fungal disease. Okay, fungal disease when we talking about the ringworm disease and the athlete foot, right? Athlete foot and jackets disease and the yeast infection right? So these all are the fungal diseases. Okay. So here we are going to mainly talking about the ringworm disease. Okay. So here we are mainly talking about ringworm disease. Ringworm. Okay. So student, ringworm is going to be caused by ringworm. We also call it as a tinea. Okay. Tinea. Tinea. Okay. So it is going to cause by so many species, that is called as a microsporum and trichophyton, and also the epidermatophyton. Okay, so which are the three species? Microsporum, trichophyton, and the epidermophyton. Okay, ringworm is going to cause by this type of the species. Okay, so the infection, how it is going to cause the infection? Mode of infection. Student, here you have to remember, whenever the fungal disease is going to be transmitted, means if you're using any comb or any towels or the person is used some things, right? For example, combs and towels or any cloth. Okay, that thing you also use it means by that you're going to be get this fungal infection. Okay. Yes. So mode of infection through the used towels and through the comb. Okay, through the combs. Okay, so that's why we have to use our separate combs and our separate towels. This is why. Okay, fine. So mode of transmission. So then what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms it is going to cause? symptoms. So for example, if you take the fungal diseases, so it is going to this main ringworm disease in the skin. If you take the skin, so there is a ring-like appearance you are going to get, and so that area will be a very scaly and it is very dry. Okay, dry, scaly lesions. Okay, dry, scaly lesions you are going to get, scaly lesions, right? Scaly lesion on the skin, not only on the skin, on skin, nails, okay, on the skin, nail, and scalp. Okay, so these are the symptoms. Okay, the dry, scaly lesions on the skin, nails, and the scalp. Okay, this is about the fungal disease. Okay, student, and for the treatment, we are going to use the antifungal. Okay, for the treatment, you'll use the cream, right? Antifungal cream we will use. Antifungal creams or antifungal some tablets we'll get, so that those things we will use. Okay. So here you have to remember ringworm is going to be caused through the mycosporum, trichophyton, epidermophyton, and mode of transmission is through that used towels or the comb. And so which is the symptom? The dry scaly lesions on the skin, nails, and the scalp. Okay. So this is about the common diseases we have studied today. Do you have any questions? You can ask me. Jainvi Chittadurga, do you have any questions? You can ask me. Meanwhile, I will run the NPS poll. You can give me feedback. Okay, fine. So here is the one question is there for you. Okay, solve this and then you can log out. Yeah, tell me. If you understood today's lecture, you can answer to this question. It is very, very easy question. Can you answer me, student? Which is the correct answer? Jainvi Chittadurga. The question is very easy. Common cold is caused by option A, rhinovirus, option B, Streptococcus pneumoniae, option C, Salmonella typhimurium, and option D, Plasmodium vivax. Very good, yes, Jainvi Chittadurga, very good, yes. Rhinovirus, right. Yes, student, all the best for your studies. You have to remember the causative agents here mainly, okay? And which are the viral disease and which are the fungal disease. The mainly question will ask from this part, okay? Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, students.